Good morning, everybody. This is Liz Choate, Director of Clinical Nutrition and Registered Dietitian here at Jackson Purchase Medical Center. And we're doing another Learning with Liz lesson today. So this is February. I can't believe it's already February. So February is Heart Month. So I thought that I would try to go over some different topics each week dealing with types of foods that can make our heart healthy or make our heart not as healthy. So I think I've talked some about these things in the past, but I thought it'd just be a good refresher for us. So today I'm talking about what is cholesterol. Cholesterol is a waxy substance that we find in our body. Our liver actually produces it. We gotta have cholesterol. It makes our skin waterproof. It does some other hormonal functions. But if we have too much cholesterol, that's what can add to blockages or plaque, as it's called, in our heart, as well as even in our arteries and veins going to our brain. So it's important for us all to kind of be aware of how much cholesterol is in different kinds of foods, what we can do to make our heart healthier, to help us not, to prevent a problem so we don't develop heart disease. I myself have a huge family history with heart disease, so it's kind of near and dear to my heart, literally, of trying to educate people on what we need to try to do that would be a little bit healthier for us for our heart. So, as I said, cholesterol is a fat that's produced in our body. The liver produces it, but we also eat foods that contain cholesterol. So any foods that come from an animal are going to have cholesterol in them, such as beef, pork, chicken, turkey, fish. All of those different animal products all contain cholesterol. Lard contains cholesterol because that's made from an animal. But something like peanut butter does not have cholesterol because it comes from peanuts. It's not an animal product. So how much do we need in a day? So our body, everybody's a little bit different, but what the American Heart Association recommends is for us to have around 200 milligrams of cholesterol in a day. So how we try to watch with that is we just try to cut back with those higher fatty foods. So if we are going to have a steak, it's better to have something like a sirloin or a fillet or a strip rather than doing something, say, like a ribeye, because a ribeye's got more fat. I mean, when you can look at it before it's cooked, you see all that marbling, and that's fat. Plus, it makes it taste better, too. But what's a little bit more heart healthier for us is to go towards, like I said, that sirloin or that fillet or that strip steak. Hamburger meat, it's better to go with ground chuck or ground round than going with regular hamburger meat because it has more added fat into that regular hamburger meat. And you can tell when you cook a hamburger that's made out of regular hamburger meat, when you pat it out, it might be that big, but when you get done, it's about that big because it shrinks. With that, you're cooking the fat out of it, but the cholesterol is still staying in there, okay? Things such as like I said, butter, milk, cheese, those items all have cholesterol contained in them because they come from an animal. So it is better for us to try to go with something that, say, margarine instead of butter, because margarine does not have cholesterol in it. Even though a lot of people will tell me, oh, it's made from plastic, it's not good for you. Actually, margarine is better for you because it's made from a liquid oil. But if I have someone who says, I gotta have my butter, I'm like, okay, there are some products out there that you can go with. There's plant-based butters, so they have no cholesterol in them. They've got a little bit more of the hardened fat in that we're going to talk about a lot of that next week. There's also some butter, margarine, or butter olive oil mixtures that a person can use so that it's a little bit lower with the cholesterol because it's not full-fledged butter in there. And that can be a little bit more heart healthier for us to have. So just paying attention, like I said, watching how much fat that's around the meats. Chicken, take that skin off because that's where all that fat is in the chicken, and that's where a lot of that cholesterol is in that fat. Fish is very, very lean. It's lower in with that cholesterol content. Pork, there's not a lot of marbling with pork, which is great, so you just want to make sure you trim that fat off around the outside of that pork before you cook it. So those are just some little things that we can do to help us with our cholesterol. When they check cholesterol, like with a lab, like drawing blood out of your arm, what the magic number is with that is they like for that number to be less than 200. Then they also can break it down between, we can have good cholesterol and bad cholesterol, so that's called HDL and LDL. And I've talked about those before in the past, but HDL stands for high density lipoprotein. We want that to be as high as that can be because that's actually a very protective thing for our body. For females, you want to be above 50 with that, and for males above 40. LDL stands for low density lipoprotein, and that's the bad fat. That's the kind of cholesterol that actually can add to blockages and plaque. So we like for that number to be less than 100 milligrams for a person who may has a family history of heart disease, or who has heart disease. Maybe they have diabetes. They like that to be 100 or below. Borderline high is between like 100 and 139, and then above that, then that's just not good numbers for us to have, because the higher that LDL level it is, the more risk that for us to have heart disease. And then you have the cousin of all of that, and it's called triglycerides. And we like that triglyceride level to be 150 and below is what we want that number to be. So if you would like any more additional information in particular about what our cholesterol level should be in those labs, please just drop us, a little note on here, and we'd be glad to send you something in the mail about that. And then, like I said, next week I'm going to talk a little bit more about some other things that can affect our cholesterol level and things to kind of just help us out with that. So I hope everybody's having a great day. It's sunshiny outside today. It's a little cool, but get outside and walk if you can, and just get some sunshine. That kind of all helps us too. So as I said, if you have any questions, please just drop us a line. If you have a topic that you would like for us to discuss, drop us a line for that too. So thanks a lot and have a great day.